Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dr. Jorge Valdes. I want to talk today about comments that I have received from my appearance on Vlad TV YouTube channel. One of the things that strike me strongly is how many people hear my story and they want to know, what did I do? How was I able to overcome the things that I overcame? How I was able to go from being an ex-convict to building a multi-million-dollar company to retiring and being very successful. I call it reinventing yourself. As we look at life and it throws us a lot of different curveballs, we can either take them, strike out, tell myself, poor little me, I can't do nothing else, continue doing the same thing that I'm doing over and over again. If I come out of prison, go back to the same neighborhood, do the same thing, deal drugs again, go back to prison, and it becomes a vicious cycle. Even let's talk about in marriage. We get divorced once, then we find another person quickly. We get married. Oh, this is the one. We get divorced again. Then we find another one. We quickly get married again. And then we'll ask ourselves over and over again, why am I keep picking the wrong woman? When in fact, you're not. There's just one common denominator. You keep bringing yourself to that marriage. And that's until you fix that, until you fix yourself, you can't ever have a healthy relationship. And it's the same thing about reinventing ourselves. When I went to prison, I was 34 years old, twice convicted drug dealer. I knew that it was going to be very difficult for me to ever find a job. So if it was going to be very difficult for me to ever find a job, what could I do? Well, I had this yearn to learn more and more about God, to study theology. I began to read the Bible not as a holy book or anything, first as a historical book, pretty interesting stories. Then I looked at it, as an emotional book. Then I looked at it as a philosophical book, how different people saw the world and the impact choices they made had. And then I began to realize, I need to reinvent myself. I got 4 children that I have to feed. I want to put them through college if I ever get out. And I can't just say to myself, hey, I can't get a job. No one would hire me. Poor little me. Let me go back to dealing drugs. So I reinvented myself. I went back to school and I got an education. I got another bachelor's. I got a master's. I got a Ph.D. For many of you that have never even gone to school, have come out of the game, and here you are feeling sorry for yourself, but you realize that you need to change, well, perhaps the first step to do is go back to school. Take it very easy. Take one class at a time and start to build your intellect. Every single one of us human beings have an unlimited capacity to learn. So when I see that someone tells me, I'm tired of going back to prison, I'm going to go back to school, and they do, and then they go to college, and then they get a career, or even if they go to a trade, and they become a certified plumber or certified electrician. It's all part of reinventing yourself. It's part of stopping that cycle of destruction, that negative mindset that tells you it's all society's fault. Nobody wants to hire me. What can I do? I need to eat. Truth is, yes, society will look down on you because you made a mistake. You made a choice that brings consequences. I tell people, listen, God forgives us, but the consequences of our life and the choices we make, they last forever sometimes. So when I chose to reinvent myself, I ended up getting a degree. And it was very painful for me because I went all the way to a Ph.D. And I remember the first time that I went into the Ph.D. program, I had full scholarship. I had gotten perfect in my exams. In my undergraduate and my master's, I had perfect grades. And also I'm listening to these young people. I've only been out of prison for 9 months. But yet I'm listening to all these people that come out of these top schools, and I was wondering, man, do they speak the same English that I speak? I remember giving my first paper, and the professor saying, how'd you get into this program? You don't even know where a comma is. And forever I'm going to remember her, Dr. Wendy Carter, and I'm going to be thankful for her, because she said a word that changed my life. I know that you got what it takes. Are you willing to pay the price? And that is the question for all of us. We all have what it takes within us. The question is, are we willing to pay the price? Are we willing to do like I did, get up at 4 o'clock in the morning so I can go to school and have someone teach me where to put a comma? My first degree was in accounting. My grammar was horrific. I just come out of prison. My first degree is in 76. So now we're in 1995, 20 years later, I don't know how to write. I know I could write sentences and I could put words together. I didn't know about commas, semicolon, but I did. I was willing to pay the price because I was reinventing myself. I was not going to be Jorge Valdes, the ex-drug dealer. I remember Walter Elwell, my mentor, saying to me, don't tell your story to anyone until you have a different story to tell. You know, those were the wisest words anybody ever said to me. And I was hungry. People were offering me $500 to go speak at a church, and he would not allow me. I was humble enough that I told him I would never make a major decision in my life until he approved it. You know, that's what was so part of reinventing myself. I never took orders from anybody. Inside of me, I was saying, like, who is this white dude that has never, ever experienced what I experienced, telling me what to do? He eats. I need to eat. You know, but I ate. You know, eventually I took a job as an assistant to the Greek professor and made enough money to eat in the cafeteria. And I was this whole process of the complete reinventing of myself. Then I got the degree. And then all of a sudden my dad died, and I decided I want to be a full-time dad to my kids. So I had to move to Georgia. I couldn't teach anymore. So I started a company from the beginning. So I was constantly reinventing myself. So when people say to me, how have you been so successful? For me, the key is real simple. I continue to reinvent myself. You know, reinventing ourselves means stopping insanity. What is insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. When you reinvent yourself, you stop the cycle of insanity, and then you find a new way. And sometimes we find a new way that doesn't work out. It's fine. We'll find another way. You know, like the very successful entrepreneurs, hardly ever do they end up being very successful with the product that they first started with. Reason being, they have an idea. They want to make it work. It doesn't seem to work. But it evolves, and they reinvent themselves again and continue to reinvent ourselves. And that is our life. You know, we are an evolving human being. We can't get stuck where we're at. We cannot accept the message from society that says, you're a convicted felon. There's nothing good about you. There's nothing you can do with your life. Yes, there is. We are special. We are created by an amazing God that does not look at the fact that we were a convicted felon, that does not look at the fact that we did horrific crimes, that looks at our heart. And when our heart is right, when we're willing to change and to make a difference, then our God adds the increase. And sometimes he doesn't. But it's fine because we have unlimited power within us to change and to be better, to impact the world. I'm 64 years old. I was very, very happy a year ago, retired. Very few people even knew who I was. I still have a Ph.D., even though I don't use it. Everybody calls me doctor. But then all of a sudden, through different events in my life, I felt calling to go back and continue to make a difference in the world. To me, I had told myself, I'd done it all. I had a ministry. I'd been a speaker. You know, I've done events all over the world. I've spoken. I have helped. I have sent thousands of books to prison. I built a foundation. We helped many, many kids get off drugs. But the truth of the matter is that I realize today that our reinventing does not stop at any given moment in life. I guess our reinventing stops the day we die. But until then, we are evolving and we are changing. So as we look at this virus going on, and as we look at life and how it's impacting us, we simply look at, hey, here's the situation that we got. There's nothing that we can do about what has happened in our life. We just can't go back. But you know what? We can go forward. And we can be different. When I decided to walk away from the cartel and I wanted to change my life, I had no idea what that meant. All I knew was that if I was going south, I'm going to go north. If I'm going to go east, I'm going to go west. What is that called? Reinventing myself. And then as I reached certain points in my life and some things worked out, others didn't, I didn't get stuck in the negative. Because I knew that I was special. I was special not because of who I was, but I was special because of who created me. An amazing God that gave me an unlimited amount of ability to learn, unlimited amount of ability to love, unlimited amount of ability to feel for the pain of others. So even today at 64, I keep reinventing myself. Now I do YouTubes. Now I write books again. Now I continue to speak. You know, now I do a podcast. And what's going to happen next year? I don't know. But it's all going to continue to evolve. And I know that it's going to be great. Because one thing for sure, I have never been happy staying where I was. I've always realized, especially when I became a child of God, that I had this unlimited potential to change. And as I changed, I made the world better. And at the end of the day, that's all that really mattered to me. It isn't changing to make me better. It is changing to make the world around me better. And we do that when we become better. So don't let your past define your future. Don't let your failures define who you are. I don't even know what the word failure means. To me, I look at anything that has not gone just the way I expected as just a learning experience. And I learn from that. In fact, I reinvent myself from that. So we're constantly changing. And you can too. No matter where you've been in life, no matter the situation that you have, no matter whether you're hungry, no matter whether you're homeless, all that you should know in life is two things. Number one, that you were created by an amazing God that loved you when you were the worst of your life. And number two, that He gave you an immense ability to regain and to reinvent yourself, to be different, to make a difference in the world, to be better for your parents, to be better for your children, to be better for your spouses, even your ex-spouses, just to be a better human being. As you look at life and you believe that, and as you build a mindset that tells you that you were created for greatness, believe it, and if you believe it and you reinvent yourself, you will become all that you ever dreamed you wanted to be. God bless you. Thank you for visiting the channel. If you have enjoyed the content today, please subscribe to the channel and also go to my webpage, www.jorgevaldezphd.com. If you join our community, we will send you a copy of our book. God bless.